Hey guys, it's Rolling with Borealis Bushcraft. I'm back in the dungeon here. Oh, my stool is a little on the higher side. There we go, that's better. Okay, kind of missing the top of my head, but I don't really care. So, we went through sharpening of the tracker, okay? Now, every version of this knife is a little bit different. If you notice that the saw teeth here, for the square notch portion of the tool, they're flat. You tune those up just as you would any chainsaw blade. You just take a flat stone. Another nice reason that I like the Work Sharp. This should be like a Work Sharp commercial or something. Because I absolutely love this thing. I love it so much. I've literally, like the extra course, I've worn the diamonds pretty much right out of the center of the stupid thing. Anyway, the Work Sharp plates are held on by magnets and they come off. Can I turn that? I don't think I can turn my lights out individually. So the nice part is they are thin and they actually fit in the grooves for the teeth. So literally all you have to do is follow your angle as you go down, and you just keep the factory setting on the angle, and you shouldn't have any issues sharpening the teeth. I don't use it all that much, to be honest. So literally I will just kind of once in a while tune them up a little bit. Just give them a little bit of a polish. Because I mean, you're not exactly using this for finished carpentry. Not what it's designed for. It's designed for making quick work of making notches, as opposed to sitting there and carving them. So yeah. Okay, so this was pretty much tuned up in a matter of, between me talking and rambling, like 20 minutes or whatever. That's a custom sheath that my buddy's dad built for this. And as we speak, he's working on one for the Raven, which will be more so to the original Beck style sheath. So now, power sharpening. Okay, you can power sharpen this knife, although I do not recommend it. One, these knives are they're pretty pricey to start with. If you do decide to try and power grind a tracker, start with a slightly worn out belt. I basically use my belts until they break. These do not rotate really fast enough to build up a ton of heat on your blade, so they're specifically designed not to burn the temper out of a knife unless you're like literally holding it in the same spot forever, and that's just operator error, not the tool. There's nothing wrong with the tool. I have sharpened dozens of knives with this thing, and yeah, I really like it for resetting edges, but as you can see, they are designed to flex, and they do produce that convex edge I was talking about. Okay, so if you're a guy that likes flat bevels, don't use this. It's pretty much that simple. Unless you want to maybe use the ceramic on the side of it, which is a nice feature. Typically on some of my other blades, I'll sharpen them freehand. Oh, good lord. Knives like my M21 and stuff that I use like literally every day for work. I do it on this every couple of days just to keep a working edge on it. Now, it comes with the angle guides. I take mine off if I'm doing any work on my tracker, and the simple reason for that is with it fitted on, you can see where the angle guide is, but it does not allow you to get right to the very, very edge of where the grind lines are on the knife. And that's with a lot of larger fixed blades. Serrated knives not so bad because it's usually the back end, the heel side that's serrated, not the tip. So utilizing this, now I can get freehand sharpening right into here, and it allows me to change my bevel angle if I wish to do so. I can either make the microconvex steeper or more shallow, or obtuse, however you want to say it, and it allows me to get this is such a pain filming down here. So much prefer doing this outside, but it's pouring rain right now and I don't feel like getting wet. So I can still get in here, but it's a little bit more of a pain in the butt. Generally, the only time I'll use the Work Sharp power grinder on the tracker is on the primary chopping bevel. Usually, like I said, that's what takes the most damage. If I got a lot of little microchips to repair, I'll work in that plane. So that's basically sharpening the tracker in a nutshell. One thing that I have done and I have found useful is you pull the guard off, you have access to the very, very, very top of the wheel set. This now allows me to square my spine off so that you can use it for scraping or throwing sparks off a fire steel, that kind of thing. Gives you a little bit more usage. So I mean, really, you don't, up in here, you're not overly concerned, considering the fact that, you know, if you're striking it with a baton, it's not going to be an issue. Now, the Beck style knives have a different type of sawtooth pattern. This is the preferred pattern that I like. The Tops version is good. There's nothing wrong, it's very functional. This I tend to find produces a slightly cleaner edge on the notches. And it's like the tooth pattern on a Swiss Army knife in a way. Kind of a crisscross diamond type pattern. This also is probably done freehand. Seems like there's a lot of stuff on this knife that is originally done freehand. One of these days I'll get an original Dave Beck. I got a buddy that's got one on order. So his name on Beck's list finally came up, so he's going to be getting one. I'm kind of excited. Him and I are tracker fans. I actually made him a tracker years ago, and he still uses it, and it's still tough as nails. But yeah. So go into a couple of little differences between the two. We got a little bit of room on the video here. Sorry I haven't been making any videos lately, guys, but I've been working my butt off all summer. I've literally only got to go camping once, so yeah, that might have to change maybe this next couple of weeks. But as you can see, the Raven versus the Tops T1, if I line the cutting edges up, whoops, there, I'm trying to get this in frame. the Raven is actually longer by about ½ an inch overall in terms of blade length. The width on the blades are about the same, roughly, and the draw knife portion is basically the same. So dimensionally, they're pretty close. So typically, if you have a sheath for Topps Tom Brown Tracker, the Raven should reasonably fit. This is the original Topps sheath that I took the stupid steel clips off of. Topps, why'd you do that? It was just dumb. And all I did is I remolded the mouth a little bit by hand, just heating it up with a heat gun or hair dryer or whatever. And very secure, no rattle. You know, the downside to the Kydex, it's a little noisy. But this is typically the sheath that I'm going to be using for my Red Scorpion 6 Predator, which is the predecessor to this. And when I get that back, I'll do another video. But if this was it does fit, although being ½ inch longer, not all the way in. But other than that, the sheath has been phenomenal. This sheath has been used on many of outings. The handle is also longer on the RS6 Scorpion as well. I prefer this handle design over the Topps because it gives a little bit different grip angles, especially if you choke up. If your fella likes doing feather sticks inside of here, go right ahead, and it lets you really choke up to it. You can do so the same with the tracker, but when you move back one notch, now my pinky is kind of now getting crammed in here, and it's forcing, how can I explain this? The Topps handle is forcing me to use it in a hammer grip. Okay? As good as that grip is, this here is longer, letting me have a more comfortable grip in the hammer grip position, which is good for chopping. But if I want to use it for making, say, snap cuts, I can palm this further down, and I can run my pinky in a lanyard loop, and now I have more reach and more. I can get more flick on the wrist for doing snap cuts on branches or limbing or whatever I need to do. The other thing you'll notice on the Topps is it is much thicker. It is literally a full 1/4 inch thick, plus whatever the coating thickness adds. I don't know, let's measure it. Yeah, 253/1000 of an inch. You notice how the Raven just stuck right in there like nothing? 215 thou. So this definitely penetrates better. Okay. Still stout enough for drilling, doing all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of things that you can do with this knife. And when I get a chance, I will take them out into the woods and show you guys the tracker versus the Raven. Basically side by side, kind of head to head. But yeah, that's basically, yeah, sharpening the tracker in a nutshell. There's no real wrong way to do it, unless you're like the previous owner maybe of my original Tom Brown, because he ground that quarter rounder basically right off. That's why that knife got reprofiled in such a drastic way. But yeah, so that is that's that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Hopefully we'll see you soon.